What's up, YouTube? Erod212 here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about 4 undervalued keys we should be looking at. All right, so I want to show 4 books that I feel are undervalued in today's extreme market. If you've been watching the way the market has been going, it's just been going insane. These books are still relatively affordable, in my opinion, and are great books to find. First book I want to talk about is Invincible Iron Man #9, but this is the second printing. You could tell the distinctiveness because of the circular picture of Riri Williams in there. But let's look at cover price and take a look at the prices on this book. All right, so like I was saying, Invincible Iron Man #9, first appearance of Riri Williams. As you can see on the right-hand side, you have the featuring Riri Williams, which is not on print #1. So if you look at the Riri Williams right now, we're talking right now, that book is $1,000 book in the market. This book here, and the way I like to compare it is I like to compare this to Miles Morales and Ultimate Fallout 4. If you're seeing the prices on his second print now, those were super low at one point. You could buy those raw for $50, and now 9.8s are approaching $1,000, and 9.6s are $500 books. So I could foresee the same thing for this book, maybe not as high, but still great investment-wise. So they have the fair market value at $76. And if we look here for raw copies, quite a few have been selling, 153 total. So you had a sale of $90 on March. You had a sale of $95, a $43 sale, $29 sale. You see in February, they were in the $30 to $40 range. So it's picking up now, $90 investment, but I'm telling you, I would pick this every time. I have one. Every chance I get, I would pick this up for 90 to 75 to $90. Yeah, I'll take it. It's what I did with my Miles Morales second prints, And if you look here, 9.8 sales, one sold for $380 in April 24th, $439, $545, $476, $444. So if you have the ability to get this book in a 9.8, even a 9.6 is over $200 on the sales. That's a great find right now. I think that's a worthy investment. So, a good book to spec on. Next book I want to talk about is NYX #4. Again, fantastic second appearance. And, second appearances have become a big thing now in the market. Didn't used to be that way, but with keys getting so unaffordable now, out of most people's price ranges, getting the second appearance of a character who's beloved would be great. Laura Kinney was portrayed fantastically in the Logan movie. Hopefully they can either age her and bring her up a little older, include her in the XMen, X-Force, which I thought was a phenomenal series to read. If you ever get the chance, that would probably transcribe great. It's like a really dark series. That whole Cyclops using them as kind of a black ops team. But let's take a look at this book and take a look at its investment quality. So, like I said, you have NYX #4, first appearance of Laura Kinney, X-23. In my opinion, this Joshua Middleton cover is the better cover of the other one, of them all, Here's a cover for $3. And you tell me, that's a good cover. But, man, if you're talking about what X-23 is supposed to look like, that is X-23 to me right there. I actually have one of these signed by Middleton that I love. My man, the Dorkeries, they were able to get a copy signed for me, and I appreciate that. And let's take a look at this. So NYX right now has approached $1,000 also. So it's one of those 4-figure books now. But if we're looking at raw sales of this book right here, right? We're talking, they're averaging it at $50, but last sale was May 2nd for $69. The $25 sales is probably a beater copy. but we're talking about $45 to $60. So you're in that $45 to $60 range. Not a lot of these are showing up on the market. I'm wondering if people are starting to stockpile these or not. I'm kind of seeing that with a lot of keys. You're going on, even if you're doing eBay search, you're not seeing the keys the way you used to with the secondary keys. The market has just gotten so hot that people are just holding on to books. Even at shows, you're not seeing all the wall books you used to see because people are afraid of it. I had a guy at a con tell me, he goes, I'm asking top dollar because with the way the market is, everything is just shooting up. So yeah, that's a great book to have. And let's take a look at this book graded. So graded in a 9.8, talking $140 to $150. In October, you had sales for $227 and $150 something. There have been no 9.8 sales this year. Wow. So that book is not showing up in 9.8s that much. Interesting note. 9.6 is now $135 and $140 sales in March. So there you go. People holding on to those 9.8s. You got $135, $140 sales in 9.6s, and yet you had $143 in December for the 9.8s. So it goes to show you people are starting to stockpile this. If you hit an LCS, you're at a local con, and you happen to see this book in high grade, I think that is another book that you should snatch up immediately. Great cover, great read if you haven't read it, and I don't see them not including Laura, especially with her popularity and everything that happened with her in the movie and in the comics. It's a beloved character that's kind of right now under the radar. It just started to pop again, that book. All right. Third book I want to talk about is Ghost Rider number 28. And that's the first appearance of the Midnight Suns. So there's a lot of speculation on this book. It's been going around for a while that Ghost Rider possibly could be coming to the MCU, be it in a Disney Plus series or be it in the movies. We all know that Doctor Strange has a part in this. Actually, what it was is Doctor Strange is behind the scenes initially, but does join the Midnight Suns. But he's the guy who organizes the Midnight Suns, and he organizes them to battle Lilith. Now, this is not Lilith, Dracula's daughter, which would be this book over here, but this is Lilith, the mother of all demons. And to battle her and her children, which are trying to take over basically Earth, the Night Stalkers, which are Blade and Hannibal King and his group, Morbius, the Spirits of Vengeance, which is Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze. So second Ghost Rider and the original Ghost Rider. And the one that I like that's interesting is the Darkhold Redeemers. So we all know about the Book of Darkhold, right? The Book of Darkhold was the book that was possibly missing in Doctor Strange. It was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and lately it showed up in WandaVision. So they keep bringing this book up. And could this be because it leads to something like this? Could it be Morbius? It could be, Mephisto. It could be so many different things, but I just found it interesting that Darkhold Redeemers are part of this, and it's got that whole sci-fi occult type of vibe to it, with creatures and monsters and stuff like that, and supernatural is what the word I'm looking for. I apologize, but let's take a look at the numbers on this book because I think that this book is a good find to get. All right, so here you go. Rise of the Midnight Suns, Ghost Rider number 28. Now, the thing to know about this book, it's a polybag book. So a la Ultimate Fallout 4, this probably is going to need a press because it's going to have the crease going up the back due to the seam on the polybag. So when you get this book, always take that into consideration. The other thing you should be really looking at is the fact that this book, and I didn't know it till I found it, has a newsstand copy. So this book is from like 1993, so newsstands are much rarer. I was able to find like 4 copies at $5 a piece at a flea market, so I snatched them up. It's not an expensive book right now, but if the Midnight Suns ever come out, this book is going to explode. So if you look right now, raw sales, they have it averaging at about $9.24. Recent raw sales of this book were $4.91, $8, $19 in April. See, there was a little spike, but it's in that $10 range. Sometimes a little higher grade, you're getting it for $15. I wouldn't be paying more than $10 for this book right now, but it is a great book to have in the back burner. If you only spend $10 on a book that could blow up, and this show does take off and happen. I mean, we all know that Feige loves to surprise us. This book to me would be a great surprise. Graded copies of this book, as you see, $125, $130. Be honest with you, if I were to see this book in a 9.8 graded already at $130 or $120, I would probably take it. It just makes it that much easier. You beat all the hassle and you have that 9.8 copy. And the last book I want to talk about is XMen number 109. And that's the first appearance of Vindicator, Jamie Hudson, Canadian-born character. And the reason I speculate on this, and a lot of people do, but now with the talk about the Wolverine series and going through his life, Jamie Hudson plays a big part of Wolverine's life. Jamie Hudson actually found Wolverine when he was in a feral state, along with who becomes his future wife, and kind of made a bond with Wolverine. They tried to get Wolverine to join their Department H group. At first he didn't, but he is part of that. He worked with them for a period. Vindicator became many different renditions. He's got that great costume, classic John Byrne cover, and it becomes the leader of Alpha Flight. Alpha Flight, I can't see how we don't touch on Alpha Flight. It might not be stage 5, it might be stage 6 or stage 7 or make it a TV series, but Alpha Flight would be fantastic. You've got some characters on there that have never been touched, like a shaman, and you've got Puck and all of these other characters, North Star, just characters that would resonate with a lot of people. So let's take a look at the numbers on this book. Now, this book is a pricier book, but the Bronze Age X-Men books are finally getting their due. The keys are starting to pop. This book here has not hit its ceiling yet. Although it's a little pricey, I don't feel it's even reached its peak. But let's take a look at this. Take a look at that cover. That's a phenomenal John Byrne cover. These are the books that I was enamored with as a kid. Just loved reading these books. So you've seen Raw about 101 is the average, but 101 is kind of low. There's been quite a few sales too, It's moving along, definitely. So in April, you saw a sale of $120 for an 8.0 copy, which is a good entry point. February, you saw a sale for $109, $130. I've seen higher asking prices now, $140. You probably, I would say right now the entry point on this book is about $140 to $150. All right, and that's probably like in that 7.5, 8.0 range. And I'll show you why, because if this book was in the high 9s, this book gets expensive. 9.8 sold for $780 in 2020. In April of 20. May of 1920. So 2020, 1920. May of 2020. So $780. There was $1,000 sale there. Yeah, it's over $1,000 book. Just a great book. Now, see, the 9.6 just sold for $1,200. So this is what you have to look at sometimes. Although the sale up here was for $700 and then a sale for $1,100, they were a year ago. And if you go now to the current market, no 9.8s have been sold. And I'm telling you, a lot of scarce 9.8s, people are holding on to their books. So a $1,200 sale in January, there was a $600 sale. So yeah, that's a little more. You probably put in $150 into that book, but I would definitely invest in it. I have 2 copies, but I'm looking to pick up a couple of more copies because that cover to me is fantastic, and I feel that there's a lot of upswing. And it's first Vindicator. It's not first Alpha Flight, which is 120. That's the cameo, 121 is the first full appearance. 120 is a tough book because of the black cover. Actually, this is what 120 looks like. So it's a tough cover, and then that's what 121 looks like. So yeah, those are my 4 spec books there. Let me know what you guys think. Also, don't forget, September 25th, I'm going to be setting up at King Kong in New Jersey. Should be a really good show. I know the Principal Defects are going to be there. Myself and Manny NYC from New York Warriors are going to be there. Very Gary setting up a table. I think Nemesis Prime is going to be doing a podcast out of there, I believe. So it's going to be a really good time if you're in that New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, tri-state area. Pennsylvania, even shoot down, come down, have a good time. It's a nice small time feel show. MTG Comics is running it, and Greg's a really good dude, so it should be a blast. But until my next video, peace.